Welcome to Missouri Sports Talk. I'm your host, Cameron Staley, and today we've got high school predictions. So, 8-man scoreboard from last week up on your screen. We've got some surprising scores. Let's point out these bottom two on the left side. Hardin Central on the road beats Slater 60-12. Platte Valley on the road beats South Holt 60-12. That's not a typo. Both those two teams went on the road by the same exact score. Archie, they win 57-6 against Drexel. Rockport gets it done 66-42. Northwest, they win at home 52-42. And New Heights, they beat Plattsburgh at home 60-34. I really didn't expect that game to happen. I want to say that I did take Plattsburgh. Computer's frozen. Let's here we go. I took Plattsburgh by 18. So I think I only got one of those wrong. No, I got South Holt wrong as well. So I went 3-3 in 8-man. I got the North Shelby one wrong as well. So 3-3 in 8-man. I went 30-12 overall. I need to state that as well before we get too far into it. I don't know if I said it last week. I think I went 32-10. So better week last week than I had this week. So hopefully my predictions today will be a little bit better than I've been doing here these past few weeks. Class 1 now. Brookfield, I believe this was Gallatin's homecoming. So if I have that correct, Gallatin's homecoming is spoiled with a 52-0 blowout. Windsor, they went on the road 22-0. Bowling Green, they kind of did what I said they would. Beat Van Far on the road. It was 52-6. I want to say I only took them by 28 though. Salisbury, they beat Marceline. I took them to win this game by 8. They win by a lot more. Marceline only scores 8. So 34-8 is the final there. Marionville, they win 36-12. And Western, I didn't expect them to win this game, if we're going to be honest. I took Scotland County. I got a little bit of gripe on TikTok. Some guys coming back after the game, like, oh, we're going to lose, huh? And so they end up getting done 39-22 in that game. I want to say, so Scotland County, that's the only one I got wrong. So I went 5-1 in Class 1. That's pretty good. Class 2 scoreboard. East Buchanan, they honestly surprised me. I took them to win this game by 40 points, and they win 10-7. Valley Catholic, they win this game against St. John. This was supposed to be our Class 2 game of the week, and they win 53-0. Caruthersville, they win on the road 28-0. Nevada, they get it done against Lamar. I took them by 10. They win by 1. Ava, they beat Houston 43-7. Very impressive win for Ava. They're rolling. They're 5-1 so far this season. And Lafayette County was doing Lafayette County things. They win 42-21 against Holden on the road. Class 3 scoreboard. Forsyth, they get it done against Reed Spring. I think I'm done picking with Reed Spring. They're kind of burning me here. I've picked them a few times. I think I picked them all 3 of their losses, and they keep losing. So I think I'm done picking with them. Blair Oaks, they go to Kansas. First time a Blair Oaks team has ever left the state, and they get a win in their first time ever, 59-28. Mount Vernon, they play this game a little bit closer than I thought they would. 35-28 win over Cassville. Southern Boone, on homecoming, they rip Eldon to shreds, if we're going to be honest. 39-15. Eldon's looking a little rough. Richmond, they beat Carrollton 56-7. I thought this game was going to be closer. I took Richmond by 14. They win by, 49. So pretty good win for Richmond. And the game that I was at, Odessa's homecoming versus Warrensburg. Odessa was playing from behind the whole entire time. If you guys watched the video. If you didn't, oh well, now you're getting it spoiled. 50-42 ended up being the score. Warrensburg won. Odessa started the game off 3-0, and then it turned into a defensive battle for the rest of the first quarter and the very start of the second. And then Warrensburg's quarterback, Kobe Westfall, absolutely took over. He was looking like prime Michael Vick out there running the ball. I think he had 4 rushing touchdowns in that game. It was pretty crazy. It was really fun watching him play. Class 4 scoreboard. Warrenton, they beat Holt pretty easily. 47-13. Seneca wins 56-7. For Zumwalt South, they surprisingly in my books, I should say, beat North Point 37-35. Branson, they are rolling. I don't know the last time they had a 6-win season. They're 49-7. or they won 49-7, I should say. They're not 49-7 on the season. Black County, they win 51-14 in our Class 4 game of the week. And Kirksville, they get it done. This is a big storyline from the last week. Another one that people had to come back and give me their thoughts. It was, I still don't remember if it was 96 or 98 was the last time that Kirksville beat Hannibal. They get it done, 16-15. Hannibal's 3-3 on the season, struggling without Aeneas Williams. So we'll see if they start to pick it up a little bit here towards the end of the season. Class 5 scoreboard, Cap City gets ripped up. They lose 33-0. Eureka wins 36-7 over Rockwood. Jackson, they win 42-6. I took Cape in that game, I guess kind of an upset pick there. I took Cape by 4, and they lost by a lot. Lutheran North, they get it done against MICDS. I took them by 18. They win 28-13. Carthage wins by 3 over Joplin. And Kearney, they beat Grain Valley 29-6. Two really good teams this year. And I'm really interested to see when Lutheran North and Kearney meet up in the Final Four. I shouldn't even say if. It's when those guys meet up in the Final Four. How is that game going to look? I'm really excited for that one. Class 6 scoreboard. Nixa gets it done against Kickapoo 48-13. I was also at that game. It was nice to meet Jackson Cantwell and Coach John Perry. They win that game 48-13. Starters were taken out after 2 drives in the second half. Liberty, they ended up losing at home to Park Hill. That one kind of surprised me. Park Hill wins 21-17. Lindbergh wins on Saturday over Parkway West 38-14. Blue Springs, they get it done against Rockhurst, who is ranked number 1 in max preps in the state. I did not personally agree with that ranking. But, I'm saying it a little late. It makes it seem a little bit faulty. But in all honesty, I really did not think that Rockhurst. I didn't think they were the number 1 team in the state, and they showed it. They lose 30-13. Oak Park gets it done over Central St. Joseph quite easily. Game ends up being 52-13. Oak Park is, they're okay this year. They're 4-2. We'll see if they even make it out of districts. I'm not fully certain that they will. And Lee Summit North, this one was kind of obvious how this game was going to go. They beat Blue Springs South. It was closer than I thought it would. It ends up being 36-28. Seems like that probably would have been a pretty good game to go to. I was between that one and Odessa and Warrensburg, and both games ended up being really good, so I don't think I could have gone wrong with either. Let's go ahead. Let's get into this week's predictions. The 8-man scoreboard on your screen right now. Let's start with Drexel and Greenfield. I don't know if Greenfield's really going to compete in this game. Give me the Bobcats by 14. Concordia versus St. Paul Lutheran, who also happens to be in Concordia. So I believe this is probably a pretty big rivalry. It's crosstown kind of thing. 2 small schools in a small town, and they're probably pretty big rivals. If I were to say, I'll take Concordia by 22 to beat St. Lutheran. Northwest versus Slater. I don't know about Slater. They were really terrible last year. They seem like they're having a pretty solid season. I am going to ride with Northwest in this one, though. I will take them by 18. West Nottoway versus South Holt. I don't know about this game. This is a really fun game. This is going to be one to keep your eye on if you're a big 8-man person. I will take the Rockets by 12 points. I think West Nottoway gets it done here. Schuyler County versus Bramer. Now, you guys know I think Bramer's winning the 8-man championship. It's between them and Archie, so I think it's kind of obvious that I'm going to have to take Bramer in this game. I'll take the Bobcats by 15. I do think that Schuyler County is a really good team this year. I don't know if they'll make a super deep run in the playoffs, but they will make a little bit of noise. I can tell you that much. And the 8-man game of the week. Lockwood versus New Heights. Both these teams, they're playing really solid this year. I'm interested to see how these teams scheme each other up. Class 1 scoreboard. Gallatin versus Milan. I don't think that game's going to be close. I will have to take Milan by 32. Windsor versus Versailles. This is another one. If you just look at the records on your screen right now, Class 1 is really weak this Friday. Not very many good games going on in Class 1 this week, so I have a 1-5 Class 3 Versailles sitting on my scoreboard, which I really hope never happens to me ever again. Give me Windsor by 21 in that game. Harrisburg versus Russellville. This is a pretty local game for me in my area. I will take Russellville on the road by 10 points in that one. Scotland County versus Putnam County. I think this is going to be a fun game. Both of these teams 3-3 right now. Scotland County, I think they're going to be looking to bounce back pretty heavily here. I think they get it done after a few pretty rough weeks. Give me Scotland County by 14 in this game. Marionville versus Sarcoxy. I think Sarcoxy has had a very light schedule that's pushing their record up to make them look a little bit better. I don't think this is really a good 4-2 team, if we're going to be honest. I'm sorry to say it if any of you all see this. I just think Marionville, that's a buzzsaw. They won last year. They're going to win this year, and they have a really strong junior class, so don't want to call it three-peat quite yet, but it's kind of looking like there's a chance of a three-peat in Marionville. So I'll take the Comets by 30. And the Class 1 game of the week, this one has to be St. Vincent and Cuba. Both these teams, St. Vincent, you kind of expect them to be a pretty good team this year, right? But I'm not certain that we all expected them to be this good. I know I didn't. I think they're sitting at 6-0. And they destroyed Valley Catholic earlier in the season. I thought that was going to be a loss for them. So, really good season so far for St. Vincent and Cuba. The past 3 years, they had won one singular game, if I'm correct. Maybe even, I want to say they won one game. 3 years ago, they won one game. In the past 2 seasons, they had 0. This year, they're 3-3. They're looking good. I think, hopefully they continue rolling. Class 2 scoreboard, Fairgrove versus Reed Spring. I said it earlier in the video, obviously. I'm not taking Reed Spring anymore. Give me Fairgrove by 24. Lafayette County versus Knob Noster. Both these teams really doing good this year, but we've had a few seasons where both teams are doing good, and Lafayette County just has Knob Noster's number. This game's never close, so give me the Huskers by 38. Thayer versus Ava. This is another one I don't think is going to be very close. Give me the Ava Bears on the road by 19. South Shelby versus Centralia. Now, South Shelby's really good this year, but it seems like Centralia just for some reason always has South Shelby's number. But this past year, I want to say the Cardinals won the game. I think it happens again. Give me South Shelby by 14. Valley Catholic versus Park Hill Central. Almost took this one as a Class 2 game of the week. I didn't, though. I think there's a better game in Class 2 that we'll get to here in a moment. Valley Catholic versus Central is going to be fireworks. I have to ride with the Valley Warriors here in this one by 5 points. In the Class 2 game of the week, it has to be Brookfield versus South Harrison. This one's going to be fun. I'm told that this is a whiteout game for senior night. Bulldog versus Bulldog, 6-0 versus 6-0. That one's going to be fireworks. Class 3. Let's see. Where do we want to start? Let's go Chillicothe and Savannah first, maybe. I think Savannah wins this one on the road by 13. Mount Vernon, they are hosting Parkview. This is another one I don't think is going to be super close. Give me the Mountaineers by 15. Richmond versus Holden. I will take the Spartans by 23 in this game. St. Francis Borgia versus Holt. This one's going to be fun. Gabe Cunningham on that Holt team. St. Francis, their head coach, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. He just got the 300 wins, not this past week, but the week before, I want to say. So, good stuff to him. I think he's at 301 now. So, I think he gets a 302 this week. Give me St. Francis by 10. Wright City versus Van Far. Now, Wright City, the past few years, haven't been perfect. This year, they're looking pretty solid, and they have a really light district. I think that's going to be a really big fumble if they don't make it out of their district. The district has like 7 teams and 11 wins in total. Wright City is 4 of those 11 wins. So they're playing a tough team in this one, Banfar. But, it's at home, and Banfar is a smaller school. I think Wright City is going to be able to pull this one off by 3. In the Class 3 game of the week, it has to be Odessa versus Pleasant Hill. Odessa, it's their senior night. They're going to be looking to bounce back after that loss to Warrensburg. That's going to be a fun game. It really will be. Class 4 scoreboard. St. Charles versus Warrenton. I don't think this one's going to be close. Give me the Warriors by 35. Kearney, being hosted by Raytown South. Another one I don't think is going to be close. Give me Kearney by 30. Carl Junction versus Branson. Branson, I think they continue to roll on the road here. Branson by 17 in my books. Mexico hosting Kirksville. Now, I faded on Kirksville last week. I'm not doing it again. You guys know I'm not much of a Mexico guy. So I will take Kirksville by 28 in this game. I think they end up getting a blowout in this one. And, this is one that I love to watch the highlights just to see Mexico lose. Osage versus Boonville. This is kind of a battle for second place in the Tri-County Conference. I think going into the season, nobody really expected both of these teams to be 5-1 going into this game. This one's going to be really fun. I think Osage wins this game by 11 points. In the Class 4 game of the week, it has to be Festus versus DeSmet. Now, I'm not sure how Festus is going to match up in this game, but they are 6-0. DeSmet, 5-1. Those are my Class 6 preseason state champions, so we'll see if they do that. Class 5 scoreboard. For Osage versus Raytown. Not sure this game's going to be too close. Give me for Osage by 15, although they're struggling a little bit this year. I'm going to take them here. North Point versus Washington, another one. I don't think North Point's struggling, but, I mean that this game's probably not going to be that close. Give me North Point by 18. Parkway West versus Parkway North. I like West in this game, but, just like being able to watch North, it makes me think that they do have the edge in this one. I think West is a good team. I think that they will be able to match up somewhat well with North, but I will say that Parkway North gets this one done by 9 points. Farmington versus Cape Central. Now, I took Cape Central to win last week. They lost pretty badly to Jackson. I heard about that one in the comments. But I will continue to choose them this week. I'll take Cape Central by 12 points. Republic versus Carthage. Republic, they're a really good team, and that's very obvious. I just think that Carthage is the better team. Give me Carthage by 6 points in the Class 5. Game of the week. It has to be Lafayette hosting Eureka. That's going to be a really fun game, Got a few D1 guys in that game. If you're in the St. Louis area, that's probably one to keep your eye on. Class 6 scoreboard. Let's go ahead. Let's start with Joplin and Neosho. I feel like that's going to be the most boring game of the 6 that I have on your screen right now. Give me Neosho by 10 points. Kirkwood versus Marquette. I'm going to take Kirkwood off of by 14 points. Park Hill, they are hosting Central St. Joseph this week. I'm going to take Park Hill by 4 points in this game. I think they have the edge. North Kansas City versus Oak Park. North Kansas City, pretty good team. I think Oak Park is better, if we're going to be honest. So give me Oak Park by 8. Liberty versus Blue Springs South. Both of these teams, they're 4-2. They're looking good, and then they've also had some losses to some really, really good football teams. These are 2 premier teams in the KC area this year. This one is going to be really fun. I really considered going to this game. This is, one of them that I had my eye on just a little bit. Obviously, not going to this one, but I will take Liberty by 7 points at home. Class 6 game of the week. Liberty North versus Lee Summit. I feel like that's just so obvious that has to be the game of the week. This may be a preview for a deep playoff game. And, I feel like whoever wins this game, they may not win if they meet again, because that's just always like something, it's hard to beat a team twice. So we'll see what comes from that game. Our Missouri Sports Talk game of the week. It has to be Brookfield versus South Harrison for week 7. Brookfield's senior night. It's a whiteout. it's going to be electric there. I was told by one of the players they're trying to make it like Penn State. It is a smaller school, so I'm not fully certain if we're going to get Penn State vibes at this game, but I will be wearing white, obviously. Now, it may end up having to be a Blair Oaks jacket because it's going to be a little chilly and I don't have any other white hoodies, so I will be repping some Blair Oaks at this game, but that's not, don't worry about that. I'm just trying to wear white, guys. It's going to be a really fun game. I'll see you guys there. And, that's all we've got for today. So, no video tomorrow, no video on Friday, because instead of going to Rockwood Summit and Ladue, so it was between Seckman and Parkway South and Rockwood Summit versus Ladue. I put up a vote, some polls on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. It was, there's a okay amount of votes, nothing really spectacular. Seemed like a lot of people didn't really care about the Thursday night games. And then I went and looked at Royals tickets for this Game 4 matchup against the Yankees. Ticket prices are pretty good, so instead of going to a football game tonight, I will be at the Royals game. I'll see you guys on Saturday. This has been Missouri Sports Talk. See you next time.